WILDR folks, this is our final video in our 4-part Balance for Skiing series. So far, we've talked about how core stability, power training, and building your strength can make you more balanced on snow. So today, we are going to finally talk about the balance drills you can do in the gym now to make yourself more balanced on snow this winter. And if you're new here, welcome to WILDR Fitness. My name is Alicia. I grew up skiing on the West Coast. My goal is to empower 100,000 outdoor adventures through fitness. And I feel so incredibly grateful that I get to do that through my fitness programs and through this platform. And of course, we are going to get to the specifics of how many reps and how many sets, all of that. But first, let's start the balance gauntlet. We are going to go from easiest to most difficult balance exercises. And of course, these are all going to mimic some aspect of the environment or movements you are doing during skiing. Because as I said in the last 3 videos, the thing about balance is it's task specific. Let's begin with level 1. As a skier, most of our weight is on one ski for most of the turn. So single leg balance, although it might seem easy, is not something you should skip. As a warm-up, it's gonna help you feel all of the muscles in your foot and lower leg and core and hips working. You should be able to hold this 2 minutes per side in order to claim excellence. And if you wanna make it more difficult, close your eyes, reduce the stability of the surface, or add a band with a friend pulling on the other end of it. Level 2, one leg balance with cross body leg raises. Staying stable through the hips, cross your other leg over the midline and back. Now, moving limbs while staying tight in the core might remind you of our core training. And I want you to actually shift your weight forward over your toes and then back towards your heel as you raise the leg across the body and come back. 2 minutes of this and you can call yourself excellent at it. Then we can progress to single leg micro squats over each toe. Teaching precision of movement and managing your center of mass is very specific to starting a new turn in a good position. Past this level, level 3, you need to be warmed up for what you're gonna do next. Level 4, it is time for drop landings. The absorption you're doing when landing from a drop mimics those changes in terrain that you see on the hill. Start on 1 foot and catch your drop on 2, or to progress it, start your drop on 2 feet and land it on 1. Pay attention to how you are stabilizing your knees as you land. Might even want to film yourself to make sure that you are keeping everything relatively stacked and your hips relatively stable and level. You should be able to drop into that landing position and hold that landing position for 5 seconds. You can progress this one by starting on a less stable surface, by banding laterally, and by closing your eyes. And as a fun aside, you can try this one by landing in different levels of a squat, so a different amount dropped. That is going to prepare you for when the ground comes sooner or later than you thought it would as you're completing a turn or catching some air. Level 5 is a lateral jump with a pause landing. This feels like this. So for these lateral jumps or skater jumps, we start on an outside foot and we jump to our new outside foot. Now we're trying to make sure that we have a soft landing on our final landing here and we stay balanced once we get to that final position. We can increase how hard these are by trying to jump higher first, and then by trying to jump farther over. Now you might recognize these from our power videos or think that they look like they're working on jump training. The key here is to focus on the final pause or hold. That is going to help you work on your balance. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit for balance in powder, then you can try these with a final landing on a less stable or a little bit wobbly surface. And you can make these harder by laterally banding them or closing your eyes. If you can do these and stick your landing for 10 seconds, you're ready to try the next exercise. Exercise number 6 is actually one of my favorite, and I've just recently updated our 8-week pre-ski program to include these in our plyometric training and our balance. These are a crossover jump to pause landing. These mimic the movement that you're trying to do in the initiation of the turn and then in the apex. And they increase the force of your landing in that final landing, making it more difficult to balance than the pure lateral jumps. If you're starting with a leftward direction, start with 2 feet, jump over to land on your left foot, then power off to land on your right foot and pause for balance. You can make these more difficult at first by increasing the height and distance of both jumps. Of course, you can try closing your eyes for your last landing if you're in a safe environment. I have found that banding these feels pretty impractical, so I wouldn't recommend it for this final exercise. And when it comes to how much or when you should do your balance training, there's not a lot of current research that gives us hard guidelines. However, the general recommendation for anything that is helping your central nervous system is to make sure that you're fully warm first, but you're not fatigued. So I would place these balance drills after a full warm-up, especially if you're going to be pushing the level of balance drill that you're doing. Then complete the rest of your strength training. And if you want to do an easier variation of a balance drill while fatigued, like let's say one of the earlier drills, like just standing on one leg or one leg with your eyes closed, then that would be something appropriate to do at the end of the session. And you want to find a drill level where you're finding success at least 50% of the time. We want to be in that challenge zone. So we're not succeeding all of the time, but we're also finding some success in these movements. So if I'm constantly failing at my balance drill, it's probably a little bit too tough for me today, and your balance will change day to day to day. But if we can't even hold the balance position for a couple seconds, then we're probably not quite ready for that level yet. Now, this is my final video on drills to do in the gym, but I will tell you that there are some remarkably specific drills you can do on snow. And the nice thing about doing balance drills on snow is, again, we're mimicking the environment and the movements that we're doing during skiing more closely. And so those skills are going to transfer better. So this winter, I would love to make an on snow drills for balance video. If you want to see that from me, drop a comment in the comment box below. That lets me know that you guys want to see that. And also, let's get ahead of it. Drop some of your favorite balance drills below as well. And finally, remember, our quiz is open. You can use it through the link in the description below to find out your skiing kryptonite and your skiing superpower. And we are actually going to be opening up registration very soon for our pre-ski fitness program. If you want to be on that wait list, get onto it through the link in the description below. You'll be the first to know when registration opens. I hope you have a wilder week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.